Hey, it's Shred. Thanks for joining me for another automotive review. This time around, we're taking out the brand new 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. All right, well, let's take a look at the outside first. You'll start on the hood and the front end there. You see the big Mustang pony there. No grill on this car because it's electric. This is the Mach-E 4X. It's a premium edition. There's going to be a GT model that comes out as well that's going to have even more horsepower than this. But it's a rapid red is the color on this. It's a pretty sharp color. Looks great in the sunlight, that metallic red. As we walk around and take a look at the car, obviously there's the charging port. This is where you can plug in, and there's multiple options as far as charging goes. All right, taking a look at the wheels. They're nice 19-inch wheels. You've got the traditional Mustang-style taillights, the sequential turn lights on the back there. Of course, never before, well, I guess we've had fastbacks and hatchbacks before. You might remember some of the early Mustang Mach 1s and things like that. It's pretty cool to how you get in. So it's just touch buttons. You press it, and it power opens the door to a certain extent. Then you pull it open. Taking a look inside the car, this model has a real nice leather interior in it. Back seat, roomier than most Mustangs. I will definitely say that. And the roof on this thing is pretty cool. Check this out. So it's got a full panoramic roof. It's not a sunroof, and it's got a UV coating to keep it cool inside in the hot days and warmer inside on the cold. Again, the front door, you have the same kind of push button. It's got a little handle that you can grab and pull by. When you look at the interior from the front seat, I mean, a lot of cool stuff. You've got the screen there, and sorry, I didn't clean all the fingerprints off it, but, it's got multiple screens, and it puts a little light show on as you open up before you even start the vehicle. All right, well, let's just hop in the driver's seat. See those flashing red lights there? That's a driver-facing camera. That's going to have something to do with the system that's going to be coming this fall, where it has self-driving capabilities. So that's the dashboard you see when you start it up. It's super quiet. I mean, you don't hear anything. There's no starter. You press the button and you wouldn't know it's on except for the fact that it tells you it's on right there on the dash. The big touch screen there in the middle, I mean, it's got a lot of options for you. You saw it's got my CarPlay hooked up. You saw I had a little Black Crows playing. This screen here is drive modes. So you've got Engage, you've got Whisper, and you've got Unbridled. And we'll show you a little demonstration of that in just a moment. Engage basically is normal. Whisper is your economy mode, and Unbridled is balls out, let's go. All right, so the camera views. This is pretty cool. So, of course, you got your standard backup camera, but this gives you several options on a front viewing camera when you're parked. So it can give you straight out. It can give you actually 3 different angles if you need to see things around you. And it has the overhead camera view as well. So you hit that bottom button right there, and it shows you all of your surroundings, which really comes in handy when you're parking in tight spots. The car actually lights up around you as you're backing up if you get close to certain objects. So it kind of helps you from that overhead view as well. But all in all, the camera's pretty cool. It's got all your heating functions on here. There's the heated seat. And let me tell you, this seat gets so hot, you have to turn it off eventually because it could actually, I think you could cook on it. So those controls are all right there for you as well. Heated steering wheel. You can control, obviously, the thermostat. And it's got separate thermostat for the passenger if they want to have something warmer or cooler than what you've got. But again, the seat controls are all right there. You just touch the button and it's got high, low, and medium, all that stuff. It's got an auto setting for heating, and heating's different on this too because, standard cars always use the coolant, the engine heat. So this has electric heat that emits from this, and it's got vents in the dashboard and everything like that for blowing in cool air and hot air. It's got all that stuff. You've got a bunch of cool options though on this screen. Again, here's the Apple CarPlay. I've got it hooked up to my phone. So, if I want to call somebody, it's very simple. It's like the screen of your phone just takes this thing over. So that's got a lot of cool functions. Messages, it reads them to you. You can send messages out by dictating to them, so you're not having to actually take your eyes off the road and things like that. So that's some of the inside stuff, which is pretty cool. Fast forward to going to the car wash as I'm driving through the car wash, and I figured, hey, let's see what it looks like on these cool cameras, right? So this was kind of, with all the lights they got going on, kind of a psychedelic little trippy thing as I'm making my way through the car wash, seeing what it looks like from the bumper there. And here's the overhead view with all the crazy things going on there. So, that was just for my own entertainment. Take it for what it's worth. All right, so I went out to Chestnut Ridge Park, and, you're finding more and more charging stations for electric cars all over the place, and that's what I found here. All the parks in our area have charging stations, so I went and plugged into that, and again, just kind of checking out some of the camera views. You can see I'm in that green spot. There's the charging station, so I'm able to plug in and get a charge while I go to the park. I did not go down the toboggan run that day, but I went for a little hike, and I decided to let it charge for a while I was there. So that's kind of a cool thing, and more charging stations are popping up all over the place. And this touchscreen does have a lot of options on it. There is a little bit of a learning curve just to see all of the things that it has as possibilities with different settings that you can put on this. You can see how far the charge is, where you're at. Like it shows I'm 78% charged. There's cool things on here that you can search for. Charging stations, a lot of settings that I'm not going to dive into all of those right now. All right, some more cool features on the inside. And I know a lot of cars are starting to come with this now, but phone charging platforms where you can just actually set it right there on the charger and it will charge for you. The shifter, a lot of these new vehicles are going to a dial type shifter where you can just put it in park, reverse, neutral, drive there. This has got as far as buttons go, there's a parking assist button. I'll show you how that works in a second. Your hazard lights. It's got right next to it, below it, there is the emergency brake where you could set that. So those are some of the standard functions there. This armrest is pretty cool. It lifts up and you've got a little garage door style thing here. More storage underneath there. And I've got my gum. I've got a spare mask. Got some sunglasses down there. So I'm ready to rock there. Close that back up. More storage underneath. There's the phone charger right there. And underneath, you've got more storage there. Plus, you've got a couple USBs. You got the standard, and then you got the Thunder charge right there. So a lot of cool features. Again, underneath there, more storage for you on the Mustang Mach-E interior. Really love the Mustang Mach-E interior, by the way. They did a great job. And notice the fabric across the dashboard there. They're speakers. This Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker system they got. I mean, that puts it right in your face. And my wife was, this is kind of a strange material. I said, that's because there's speakers there. So that's another cool feature. Speakers throughout this car. All right, let's cut to the chase here. Let's get to what you want to see as far as performance goes. All right, as I mentioned, you've got the different options. Let's change it to unbridled. Let's give it everything she's got, all right? I'm just going to take off from this little stop sign here and just hammer down and see what she does. If you notice on the speedometer, look how quick it is, up to 50, up to 60. Okay, maybe we're a little over the speed limit there. Hey, you know what happens, officer? It was a test drive. I didn't realize I was going that fast. Yeah, this thing is quick. It's 0 to 60 around 4.8 on this one. The GT is going to be 3.6. It is smooth. It puts you back in the seat. It's different back in the seat than that throw you back from the muscle cars of old. There's no slamming gears. It's just smooth, but it sucks you back into the seat, and you're like, wow, this thing is really quick. I got to tell you, it is super fun to drive, and that's where this Mustang name comes into play a little bit. If you're thinking about performance, when you think about Ford performance, you think about Mustang, right? And that's where this vehicle is. I mean, this thing has got performance. It rides great. It handles really great. All right, let's move on to parking. So I went over to a parking lot, and I'm going to try this active park assist, and I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before. So I've turned it on. And now what I have to do is I'm looking for a parking spot in this lot, and I'm just going to have it back into a spot. So I've got to drive with it, and I put on my turn signal, and it will find the spot for me, okay? It says stop, you found it. Now you take your hand off the wheel, your foot off the pedals, and you hold the park assist button neutral, and just let it do the rest. All I do now is I watch. I'm of course watching in the mirror. I'm watching and I'm getting nervous because this guy in the silver truck has parked horrible. Can you tell? He's over the line. All right, this is going to be a tight fit. It's clearly got enough room for me to get in there. I wouldn't be trying it, but look how close it gets to this vehicle before it stops. I mean, there's beeps going off, and I'm like, oh God, stop! I don't own this car. And I don't know, if I did, maybe I'd be even more nervous. I don't know. But that wheel's turning by itself. Now you can see there in the screen, baby. It's tight. It's going in. And this is tight. This is tight. You can see both screens there. You can see how it lights up on the one side as it's getting close to that vehicle. It lights up on the other side as it's getting close to that one. It's there. It's done. It's in. I got room on that side. I got room on this side. It did it. And I'm wiping the sweat off my brow right now. But pretty cool stuff. It also does parallel parking. So, yeah, this makes parking a whole lot easier. Although, for me, it was a little bit more nerve-wracking. All right, well, how far can you go on this? This is a big question, of course. When you're looking at an electric vehicle, that's the fear, right? How far can I go? So, the range on the Mustang Mach-E, it depends on which model you get. The lowest version will go 200 miles on a charge. And the best one goes about 300 miles on a charge. Now, there's a couple different variations here as well. There's a rear-wheel drive and there's an all-wheel drive, and that comes in all the different performance models. as far as charging goes, obviously with these cars, the best way to charge them is with the rapid charger. That's something that's sold separately through Ford, and you would want an electrician to install that at your house in your garage. And with the rapid charger, these things will charge overnight. About 6 to 7 hours can take it from no charge to full charge. Ford does give you a charging kit that comes with it, and that's what I used. I plugged into the wall here. I was just using 110, and quite honestly, that's going to take a long time to charge the car. It will take several days if you take it all the way down like I did, because I went to Erie, Pennsylvania, and back, and I stopped at a charging station, a free charge, and plugged in for a little bit, just guarantee that I get back, and that was pretty cool. I used the navigation map to find charging stations, so that worked. But what does the vehicle cost? All right, well, it starts at $42,895, and with the federal tax credit, that brings it down to $35,395. Now, you can dress these up a lot more. You go all-wheel drive, that's a little bit more expensive. You get the premium, that's a little bit more expensive. You get the GT, that's a little bit more expensive. So, you can drive this thing up into the $60,000 range for sure if you're going all performance and putting some of the really cool paint and options on this and wheels and stuff like that. So you can definitely get it up there. And again, you've got that federal tax credit to bring it down. All right, to wrap this thing up, I got to say, I really enjoyed driving this car. It was a lot of fun. It got a lot of attention. Of course, it's new. A lot of people haven't seen it. You got that Mustang pony on the front and on the rear, and people are looking at it. It performed well. I would like to run it up against a regular Mustang and just see how it goes. Obviously, it doesn't have the sound of a GT with the V8, but I got to tell you, it was smooth, comfortable, a lot of fun to drive. That was really cool. I want to thank my friends over at Delacy Ford for letting me have this for a few days to just take out and really experience the electric car and the Mustang Mach-E. They've got it in the showroom. You can go test drive it yourself if you want to check it out. They're taking orders on these things right now as well. So it's just another in the great 2021 lineup that Ford has put out. And they've got some great offers for you as well as far as getting credit approved and all that stuff. So see my friends over at Delacy Ford online at delacyford.com. I had a lot of fun doing this. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time around. Thanks for checking it out.